Hi, I'm Una. Welcome to my channel. Today's video came about because a friend of mine who is a primary school head teacher asked me to create some graduation cards for her students in the senior class who are graduating this year and going on to secondary school in the autumn. In this topsy-turvy world, they're not getting to do things as normal, and a gift box is being prepared for each child. I do apologise for the poor quality of the image on screen. I forgot to photograph the card before I sent her the 9 of them. This congratulations die is a Cheery Lynn die, and it's beautiful. It cuts out a lovely embellishment. And to make life easy for myself, I decided that to the back of the gold, rose gold card, I would adhere some stick-it adhesive. This is a double-sided adhesive, and it's, like I say, going to make life much easier for me in adhering these die cuts to the finished card. And I was glad I did. Now, although I did have a problem extracting them from the die because the release paper came away from the dies, and also some thin metallic threads were created when I ran it through my die cut machine. But in the end, it really was to my advantage to have the stick-it on it. This is Happy Graduation Day die set from Sweet Dixie. And I have those adhered together to help me to mass produce. I didn't use this congrats word, but I did use the exclamation mark. And I cut a separate white piece so that I could colour the tassels on the grad caps. I wanted those to match the colour of the school crest. This embossing mat I created myself. When I bought this little die cutting machine in my local Aldi store, it didn't come with an embossing feature. And so I just created that mat by cutting it from an old eBosser mat. I had a scrap one that I had damaged several times, but I was able to get a piece for this machine. We can adapt our machines quite easily like that, and you'll see later that I do it again with this particular die cut machine. The grad cap dies beautifully, and it actually embosses quite well, but I decided I'd run it through with the embossing mat just to see would I get any extra additional embossing. And I did. It's very heavily embossed. Beautiful. And that's the little blue tassel that I created. I just coloured it with my Spectrum Noir marker, and you could see there it was a good match for the crest. These Sizzix dies, uppercase and lowercase, I'm using to create the children's names. And I do those in my little die cutting machine as well. I just love this. I'm so glad I bought it. And they cut beautifully. I damaged the A and was able to just run it through so easily again. Now, the graduation words didn't die cut very well, and that's not the die's fault. It's because the pressure isn't correct in this little machine. But that's so easy to put right. I just cut out a shim from a piece of cardstock. And then I hold it under the base plate when I'm running it through the little die cutting machine. And you'll see that this time it has cut beautifully. The words are just falling out of the mirror card. And it's so easy to do that, and bear that in mind with all your die cutting machines. You can adjust the shims yourself. If you haven't got enough pressure, start with a piece of typing paper, and if that doesn't create enough pressure, just go on to a heavier weight card and just keep trying until you find the right sandwich. This set from the works I got the little numbers from. And you can see here, nothing goes to waste in my craft room. I'm using every available space on the scraps before I move on to a bigger piece of card, which of course I have to do because I'm mass producing this particular card. And here I'm showing that if there's a blemish on your cardstock, Sometimes it can be put right with pressure from your bone folder. So try that before you scrap anything that isn't good enough. And I used a lovely embossing folder, this Clouds embossing folder, on all my cards. If you've watched any of my other videos, you've probably seen this folder before. And I'm being very careful when I'm creasing the card not to flatten any of those lovely puffy clouds. Gently does it. And so I arrange all the bits and pieces, and I'm happy with that layout, so I adhere them all to the card. Added the exclamation mark, and I do later add the tittle on the eye. I had forgotten it at this stage. But I'm pleased with that, and I do hope the students like them when they find them in their gift boxes. I left this in to show you my mass production. I prepare all the crests and the caps and the inserts for the scrolls, the words and the numbers to create the 2020s and the names of the children and the card bases. And then I cut each congratulations and scroll embellishment as I go. Just showing there that I always tidy up and count everything in my sets before I put them away in case anything got lost. Thank you for being with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do come back to Una's Crafty Cards. You'll see some more videos now on screen that you might like to watch. I would love if you would subscribe to my channel. If you'd give this video a thumbs up, that would be really helpful to me. Do come back again. Leave a comment below. I'd love to talk to you. And do please stay safe. All the best. Bye.